man. We're here with Sayre Standout and Marshall signee Cole Pennington and Coach Huff of Marshall. How y'all doing today?
Doing good.
All right. Coach Huff, man, what made you come and get this young man right here?
Well, I learned a long time ago when I worked for Chan Gailey that if you don't have a quarterback, you don't have a chance.
Yes, sir.
So finding a quarterback was a top priority for us. Cole actually taking his father's relationship out of the equation. Cole was actually recommended to me by a good friend of mine, David Lee, who had been working with Cole, coaching him, mentoring him, probably since 9th grade, and has kind of watched his growth. And when you evaluate quarterbacks, you're really trying to evaluate their growth, because anybody can go to a 7-on-7 and throw it, and anybody can stand in the backyard and throw it 100 yards, 50 yards, 60 yards, or whatever. But what you're looking for is growth over time. And Cole was a young man who started out really skinny, really weak, but had the right mentality, got stronger, got better fundamentally, got better understanding the game, and got recommended to me by a guy I really trust that evaluates quarterbacks. And then on top of that, our relationship through Marshall University with what his dad has been able to do to create a lot of opportunities for people at Marshall when he played and people at Marshall afterwards. So it was kind of an easy pick once we found out that he could actually play. Once we knew who Dad was, made it work.
Nicole, man, you started off from the ground floor of this. You and your dad building this program from playing a couple of games to being a powerhouse in 1A actually. How has that been for you over these 4 years?
It's been really cool to see the growth of the program. I mean, starting out, we played mostly JV games my freshman year. The sophomore year, we went 1-7. We played 8 varsity games. It was kind of rough. And then the last 2 years, we had our first full 2 seasons of varsity play. We went 16-4, which doesn't happen a lot for first couple year programs. So it's been really cool to see, and I just think it's credit to my teammates just how they bought into the program. They let the program work for them, and they also work for the program. And it's just been really cool to see how the school's adopted the football at Sayre and how it's just grown.
Now, how's it been playing for your dad these 4 years, man? Are you gonna miss him next year?
Yeah, I'll definitely miss him. The memories. There's nothing like having that bond on the field. On the field he's coach, off the field he's dad. But it's been he's such a great coach, and he sees the game. He's one of the smartest to ever play. So to be able to have a coach like that on the field and have his eyes just watching the game and coaching me, it's been really cool. So.
Now, Coach Huff, man, what are you expecting out of Cole next year coming in as a freshman?
Yeah, I tell the guys it's their responsibility at all positions to force us as coaches to play them. It's their responsibility at all positions to determine how much or how little they play. Obviously, the quarterback position, there's only one on the field at a time. But what I'm really looking for, one of the things, take the athletic part of it out, Cole's leadership. And I think that's something that does not have a year or experience on. You can be a leader whether you're freshman, senior, junior, wherever you are. And I think what Cole has been able to do is he's been able to adapt his leadership over time. Different when you're a freshman and the program is just getting started. The expectation just to get guys to show up at practice, to get guys to believe, hey, we do have a football team now, is different than when you're going into your senior year and like you said, you're one of the dominant teams in the area. That's a different type of leadership. That's a different type of standard. So for him to be able to come in and find his niche in leadership, I think that's going to be important. And then we do expect him to compete, and I don't have a problem playing a freshman, senior, junior. They pay me to win. I don't care if you're white, black, Christian, Baptist, Buddhist. I don't care. I care about the guys who are going to give us the opportunity to be successful on Saturdays. And I think Cole has those traits. I think Cole has the ability. Now it's going to be what he does between now and September to kind of separate himself from everybody else.
Man, how's it been getting Marshall back to being a powerhouse it was under Chad and Byron left, which is things like it has been doing that?
Well, you probably have to recruit a Chad, a Byron, a Randy to start. But again, I think what it does is it shows that Marshall has a good foundation, and we're building on those things. I think now what has happened in college football is you got to have a good foundation, but it's a lot of other resources around the individual player that you got to continue to build, and those are the things that we're moving toward now, building those resources around the players so that they can maximize their opportunities while they're there.
How's this recruiting class been for you? Has Cole been one of the biggest bright spots in this class you've got this
It's
year?
been really good. Actually, Cole will go down in history. He'll have something when he gets to Marshall over his dad. Cole will be a part of the best recruiting class in the history of Marshall University. So he's coming in with a lot of attention already on him. But I think that goes to show the type of people that he'll be playing with, the people he'll be surrounded with. We know Marshall has recruited a lot of really good players. But for him to be a part of the best class ever, that says something about himself and the rest of his teammates.
So Cole, man, what is any extra pressure going to Marshall D1 school, first of all? Secondly, a school with a lot of heritage, and then third, you following your dad's footsteps.
So definitely, I think just as part of the legacy piece of it, that was one of the biggest things throughout the whole recruiting process. And then now that I'm going to Marshall, is not to let that affect me. I'm going to go in as Cole Pennington, and just going to put my head down and work. That's the biggest thing. Put my head down and work. Credit bond my teammates and my brothers on the field and off the field. And then also just, I think you already have a little bit of natural pressure going to Marshall just because of how historic the program is. But I think that's a cool thing for the guys that do play there, because they get to represent the town, they get to represent the team, and they get to represent the program that has been built and has been laid for us. So it's definitely going to be a cool thing, wear that M on the helmet and walk out on the field.
All right. Now, what's your goals for coming in next year?
Just to work as hard as I can and develop, make myself a better athlete, quarterback, and just a person. I think that's the only thing you can do is just put your head down and work. So, yes, sir.
Talk a little bit about the recruitment process, Coach, and something that could maybe help some of these local kids around here is like when you identify a need that you need with your team, how do you go about selecting that this guy may be the right fit for your program?
Well, I think it starts with obviously the film, right? I mean, let's just be honest. You got to have good film. You can have as many stars and many people call, but you got to have good film. So putting good film together. The second thing is, where we are in recruiting now, you're going to have to get to the schools that you're interested in. Cole came up to our camp. Cole came up and worked out. Cole came up and did, some just one-on-one visits. What that does is that allows us to kind of find out what type of person you are, right? You put the film on a good player. The film doesn't talk to you, so you don't know his character, you don't know his work ethic, you don't know, how he communicates, So with him coming on campus and spending time with us, we were able to kind of figure those things out. And then we do our background, right? We ask the people around the school, how is he? We ask the people around the town, we ask other coaches that have played against him, what type of person he is, because ultimately we want the best player. But more importantly, we need the best person, because what I don't want to do is I don't want to bring bad people into our program, because it doesn't matter how good you play. If you're not a good person and you're getting in trouble in the town, you're not going to class, you're not doing what you're supposed to do, you'll never maximize your true ability. So to me, it's a combination. One, you got to have good film. Two, you got to get out to these places. You got to get in front of these coaches. And then three, you got to make sure you're representing yourself the right way when people aren't looking, because we do check. We ask principals, we ask janitors, we ask people across the street. We ask those questions, what type of person those players are.
Awesome.
Now, Cole, man, is this your dream school?
All right, so I think definitely, growing up, I watching We Are Marshall, being at the games, I dreamed about wearing that Kelly green on that field and representing the town of Huntington. So I definitely think, going through this process, and then since I was little, Marshall was my dream school. So I'm really excited about it.
Man, how's it being one of the top recruits in the city of Lexington, the state of Kentucky? How's it feel?
It's been really awesome. I've also developed some relationships with the other top talent guys in here. We get there. Kentucky sometimes is not looked at as producing the best athletes, but there's some great talent in Lexington and then in the state as well. We got a ton of talent. We got a lot of great guys, so it's been cool.
Now, Coach, you have another young man from Lexington, J. Coffin. I think plays defensive end there. Lexington kid too. So will you be coming to Lexington a little bit more and recruiting or something?
Yeah, I mean, Lexington's been really good to me in my career. I don't know about necessarily me recruiting it, but everywhere I've been. When I was at the University of Alabama, we had Jedrick Wills, we had Damon Harris.
Yes, sir.
We get to Marshall, we got Cole, we got Kaufman. We may just start recruiting Lexington as we see where all the good players are. But no, I think it goes to show that an area that may be overlooked sometime, or an area that may not get the public perception. If you do what you're supposed to do, good colleges, good opportunities will find you. Don't let some media outlet determine how good you feel your area is. If you're a good football player, whether it's Marshall, whether it's Alabama, whether it's USC, whether it's Hawaii, if you're a good football player, a school will find you and you'll get that opportunity.
Awesome.
Anything else, Coach?
I'm good.
Well, gentlemen, thank you for joining us today. It's a big thanks, Kentucky. Thanks for having on. Cole, wish you nothing but the best.
Sure,
Coach
thank
Huff, you're getting a great young man. I watched him start off from young, starting off, going through middle school. He's been a talent to see what he's done here at Sayer.
We appreciate you guys. Look forward to getting you guys up to Marshall sometime real soon.
We'll be there.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.